everybody, and welcome to our Artist Career Success interviews. I am so excited and humbled to be speaking with the one and only Justin Guarini. I'm such a fan. Welcome.
Hey, thank you very much. It's so nice to be here. I'm just maxing and relaxing. It's a weekend, and
Yeah,
I'm happy to be talking to you. And I love what you've been doing, and I can't wait to dig into everything from arts to entrepreneurship. And let's go for it.
absolutely. So thank you again. Love to jump right in. So tell folks who you are, what you do, and how did you get it.
Sure, yeah. My name is Justin Guarini. I've been a performer probably for the majority of my life, actually. I guess at 4 years old, I started in the Atlanta Boys Choir, and then from there went on to do musicals and choir performances all throughout my school years, and then ended up getting my big break after years and years of struggling as we do as performers to be the best and to get our skills into a place where opportunity meets timing and all of that preparation. And I got my big break on American Idol. As a matter of fact, yesterday it was 18 years ago that the finale of American Idol happened, which is crazy. I don't feel old enough for that to be the case, but it was 18 years ago. And then from there, I've been in 6 Broadway performances and shows, not performances, 6, ooh, my microphone fell over, 6 Broadway musicals. And what else have I done? I've toured all over the world singing. Been very blessed to spend 6 years playing a character called Lil Sweet for Diet Dr. Pepper in national commercial campaigns. And now, in addition to performing both on stage and television, I get to mentor the next generation of performers with my Artist Mindset Mastery program.
Wow. I love it. I mean, I love so many things about you, but one of the main things is that you've taken your platform, you've just completely expanded upon it. So many people would just be content, singing or performing, and you said, no, let me do more and give it back to the next generation. So it's just so commendable.
Yeah, thank you. I really think it's important to pay it forward. I mean, there's so many people that I have been able to study at the feet of, legendary people in theater, legendary people in music, legendary people in film, legendary people in television, and it's just I've gained so much from just watching and learning and having conversations with them, and so part of what I love to do and why I love to do it is because I actually love teaching. And it took me a minute, because I used to believe that, those that can't do teach, blah, 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 that thing, which was convenient early on in my life, right? Before I really truly understood what it takes to not just make it in the business, but actually to last in this business. So that being said, thank you. I appreciate that. And I really do love it. It's a passion of mine that I love. Oh, don't tell anyone. I love it almost as much as performing, but don't let
That'll
it
be our secret here.
Exactly.
I love it. And you said some great things there. I love that, you love teaching, and that translates into the student experience. You can tell when somebody doesn't like it and they're just there for a quick check. And I love, obviously, you're extremely passionate about it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I do it for free, but don't tell anybody that.
I love it. You're like, I would, but I'm not. That's how we.
Right. The second thing that people don't realize, because we are so in the moment, especially as performers, and the highs and the lows of every single day, especially the lows of these days, right, with COVID and the shutdown of the industry, we don't realize that the business is cyclical and it comes around. And the 2 points that I want to make are, one, staying in the game is so important. 100% of the people who make it in our business never give up. Right?
Yes.
Staying in the game, keeping your foot in the game. Have your survival job, have your day job, all that great. But make sure that you're looking on, whether it's, some of the trade sites, websites, right? If you're into television, you should be reading Variety or one of the trades or whatever it is, right? You should be. If you're in music, be reading Billboard. Know what is happening. If you're in theater, look at Playbill and Broadway World and whatever, all those other Theater Mania, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? Keep your foot in the game. And then the second thing is do good work. Anybody and everybody can be famous nowadays. I think Andy Warhol said that it was, 15 minutes? Everyone gets their 15 minutes of fame, and now it's 5 minutes of fame, right? Because that's the way our world has been truncated in social media, and that's, for better or worse, that's the way things are. But when you continue to do good work and you are kind to people and you keep putting out good things, then eventually the business is going to come to you and come back around to you, and you're going to get your chance to shine. Whether that's super local market, a regional market, national, international, it doesn't matter. Keep doing good work and building upon that success and that the wisdom and the experience that comes with doing that.
I hope you guys are listening out there, because I'm taking so many mental notes. He is preaching the good word this morning. It's not even Sunday.
That's right. Let's get an amen on a Saturday.
Exactly. No, this is incredible. I love what you said about just staying in the game. And so many people, if it doesn't happen on that one audition, they just give up and they run to do something else. And you can't be built like that in this industry. You have to really weather many storms. So stay in it.
Absolutely. And what I preach to myself more than anything else is that success, so much success, is just on the other side of the willingness to completely fall down on your face and fail. That has made my career. I mean, the things that you see me doing is Lil Sweet. The things that some of the acting choices that I've made have come from the trust that I have in myself because of the willingness to completely look like an idiot. Like, I'm okay with looking like a total idiot, which then frees up all of that mental energy, that physical, that spiritual energy that in the past for me has blocked my zone of genius, my just... Oh, I didn't know I was going to do that. That sort of improv wildness that happens. And so when you embrace failure, when you embrace that willingness to look completely foolish, then you make room for your genius. You make room and free up energy that will allow you to make choices that will surprise you and your audience.
And so, wow. That's one of the most powerful things I've heard, honestly.
Cheers.
All to fail, to look a fool, and then art in the name of your own progression. I mean, that's incredible.
Thanks.
Yeah, we all stop ourselves, right? We're all so worried about looking like the next one and getting into and we really block ourselves from blessings and opportunities that could come to us if we just to that.
Yes.
Well, this is good. I really hope you guys are getting this, because I'm really living my best life over here. I love this, Justin. So take us back to 18 years ago, right? You're on American Idol from the finale. What was that whirlwind like?
Just that. It was an absolute whirlwind. I mean, I was 22 at the time and didn't know anything about the business aspect of the entertainment business, right? I knew how to get up and sing and dance and talk on camera and all that, but at the end of the day, I had no idea about the business. And so I got a very sharp, hard lesson in business over about the next 10 years. The next 10 years showed me a lot about the business itself. And so standing on that stage 18 years and a day ago, I was at the time just hoping that I wasn't going to win, which is really strange because you'd think you'd want to win, but I just felt like winning was not the best thing for me to do. And obviously you can see it worked out. Kelly was supposed to win. She has been an amazing success and done amazing things, rightfully so. But I felt like if I had won, and I still feel this way today, if I had won, I don't think I would be have the same success. I don't, because I just did not understand. I thought that people were going to take care of me. If I did good work, people would take care of me. And that is not the way the business works at that level. You must be much more savvy. You must have your own best interests at heart. Yes. And you must watch the people who you give control of your career to like a hawk. Because your best 99.9% of the time at that level, the people who manage your career do not have your best interests first at heart. They care. They want you to do well, but they're looking out for themselves or their company or their television. You know what I mean? So that was the lesson that I learned over the next 10 years. And I realized a lot of things that money and fame and fortune do not make you happy. Because I had all of them. I was living in a beautiful palatial mansion in Beverly Hills, and I was the most miserable I've ever been in my life. I felt the most isolated and the most disconnected that I've ever felt in my life. And yet I was surrounded by beauty. I was surrounded by, people in that home that loved me and cared for me. And yet I just was not connected to anything that made me feel fulfilled. And so from there, I really came back to my roots, which is the theater. I fell back in love with the thing that I wanted my entire life, as far as I could remember, for a long time anyway, which was to be on the Broadway stage. And about 10 years or so, 11 years after Idol, I had the opportunity to do that, and it has been one of the greatest things that I've gotten to do in my life.
Notoriety, all that stuff, it just can't make you happy. You can have it all, right? Everything you think you worked your life for, and you think that you made it, and then you still don't feel like you truly have on the inside, and that's more important than external. So for all the artists out there, please listen to what Justin's saying. It's about the exterior, but it's all about the interior first.
Absolutely, 100%. Because and you just need to look at people who are the one-name people, with rare exception, the one-name entertainers, the highly decorated entertainers, often find themselves either in trouble battling with addiction, or battling with deep and severe personal problems and challenges, or find themselves not alive anymore because of the choices that they've made based upon trying to fill a hole that can't be filled with anything material, can't be filled with anything, any praise or anything from outside, right? And that is something that I got to see a lot of and be a part of, in a sense, when I came off of American Idol. There's something that I really want to stress here about being self-possessed. It is okay to think about yourself, and it's okay to be confident. It is okay to show that which makes you unique, and to dive into your own self-expression and to put that out into the world. And so when we begin to shrink away from our own genius, when we begin to shrink away from that which makes us stand out, recognize that, yes, it's not all about you, but there is something to be said for being self-possessed and being confident and having made the investment in yourself and in your confidence to put yourself out there. Because the difference, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, the difference really between cockiness and confidence is confidence says that I'm going to be the best that I can be in this situation. I have prepared, I've done the work, and I'm going to now show that which I know, and which I do. Cockiness, on the other hand, and that sort of thing that makes people go, is saying, I am better than you. I am going to be better than you, and I'm going to do things and say things to put you down so that I can rise above you, right? And so I think people get that mixed up.
Wow, that's major. And I feel like it's hard for artists and entertainers too, because like you said, so many of them kind of like, they're in between somewhere. It's like you're pulling that line, but the balance, and it's hard to find. Yeah.
It's a fight. It's a daily fight with ourselves.
It is, right? Because you do something cool and you get to a level and you're proud, but like you said, then how do you keep that in check so it doesn't go into the cocky side? It could be really difficult.
Yeah, how do you keep that in check is an amazing question. How do you, when you get to a certain level, whether again that's locally, regionally, nationally, internationally, how do you keep yourself in check? And then that comes back again to what we were talking about, that relationship not only with yourself but with the people who matter in your life and who will tell you the truth. Because the higher you go, the less willing people are to tell you the truth, because they don't want you to cut them off. They don't want you to stop giving them whatever it is that they're getting from you, right? But those people in your life who matter and who knew you before will always tell you the truth, or they should, and that is an invaluable asset the higher and higher you go in this.
So tell us what you're working on, because I know you're doing a lot of cool things, especially with your mastery programs.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been on about a 2-year entrepreneurial journey. I 2 years ago began to see the writing on the wall of the fact that I'm not getting any younger. You know what I mean? I'm not old by any stretch of imagination, but I was like, the hill's in the distance, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, before I crest that, let me get it together. And so what I asked myself, what do I love to do? Obviously, I love to perform, but I love to teach. I really have a passion for connecting with older, younger people my age, just performers, and just sharing the wisdom that I've gained over almost 20 years at a high level in this business. And so I created the Artist Mindset Mastery brand and program, and it first actually started out with just auditioning. I have a book called Audition Secrets Volume 1, which is available on Amazon. And so I just was like, oh, you know what, back in the day when you could walk into an audition right before the pandemic, because it feels like it was 6 years ago, I was like, okay, auditioning is something we all have to do, and it's something that I've learned a lot about, and I love to audition. And so how can I help other people develop a love for probably one of the most horrible things that we have to do, the most barbaric things that we have to do in this business? So I wrote this book, and I started training people on that, and I have a master class there. And then I really started making the transition into understanding and recognizing a facet that I hadn't really dove 100% into, and that was mindset. The attitudes and the behaviors that you bring to the skill sets of singing, acting, and dancing. We always focus so much on the skill sets of auditioning or singing, acting, dancing, performing, but really the foundation of that I've found throughout my career and working with hundreds of students is that there's a mindset challenge that a lot of people have. And we talked about it throughout this interview, right? It's just the relationships, the way we view our bodies, the way we fuel our bodies, the way we view our spiritual connection or lack thereof. Again, the relationships that we have with ourselves, with our family, with our friends, with our children, with our loved ones. And then the relationship we have, and the understanding, more importantly, that we have with business, the business of show. So important, and I know that that's really important to you, and I'm so glad that you are preaching that, because it is invaluable. The more business savvy we can become as performers, the less of those stories you're going to hear about people, rising and then just flaming out. The less you're going to hear stories about people being taken advantage of by those snakes in this business, of which there are many. And, the less that you're going to hear about people having all this money and then not having it, right? And then just, and wrecking opportunities that we have to make not only investments in ourselves, but investments back into our industry, whether that's in making an investment in a musical, or making an investment in a business where we can locally teach, or like we're doing now, so many people, and before we began the interview, we talked about this, so many people now are like, oh, this online game, let me get into this online game. Like, Lord, come on, right? This was happening. And now those of us who have invested and start to invest in business knowledge, the understanding of marketing, sales, advertisement, fulfillment, and systems and processes and optics, all of that, that is the language of the future. That is the language of longevity in show business.
Mm. Yeah. I love that. And I love, and I read your book too, it's brilliant. So I love the audition secrets. Yeah, but I love that now you're taking it into, a COVID context. Because it is different now what you're doing, and I love like all the changes you've done to your brand and your site. And it really is focused on that inner work and that preparation, so that when the world does open back up, you're ready for your next level.
Yes, and that's it. That's it. Right now, we are all understandably so focused on just getting through today. Right? Yes. Just getting through. My wife and I have 3 kids and 3 dogs, and I, at the end of the day, and just every day, I'm just like, I don't know if I can do it again. Yeah. I don't know if I can do it again.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll trade you for the cat any day.
Exactly.
No, but so that being said, I know that even though there's a part of me at the end of the day that is just like, can I do tomorrow? Because of the mindset work that I do, because of the fact that I made the investments, and I continue on a daily basis to make investments in myself, in my body, in my spirituality, in my relationships, in my understanding of business, I know that me, people who are making the investment, who are not waiting around to see what happens, who are not waiting around for somebody else to tell them what to do, we are going to be the ones, when the business opens back up, we're going to be the ones who book more. We're going to be the ones who are going to be at the forefront of the new entertainment business. Because right now we're in this sort of zone where Netflix and certainly theater and certainly many of our businesses are kind of running out of content, right? Yes. Because they haven't been able to film in advance like you do. They haven't been able to prepare in advance so that, boom, content is continuously coming. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be this lull where people are trying to get it together and trying to figure out how we can operate operate safely. And once that system is figured out, and it's starting to happen now, slowly but surely, once that system is figured out, there's going to be a bunch of work. Yeah. And the people who are kind of like not ready and just like, are we going to be scrambling, and it's going to show in their work. But the people who starting today or last week or whatever it was, doesn't have to be in March, the people who start focusing and really making the investment in themselves and staying sharp, not just sharp, but getting even better, are going to be the ones who book the work. Period.
Wow. I love that. I agree with it. I love what you said about the new entertainment business, right? Because we're in the new normal, but our industry is going to look entirely different. And yes. I think it is going to be the entrepreneurial type of person that's coming out, yes, creating new initiatives and things.
Yeah. And I had to really get over my, and I'm still in the process of getting over my bias, or my sort of the nasty taste in my mouth that came with the word sales, right? Yes. Salesman, salesperson, saleswoman, whatever it is you want to. It's like sales inherently used to be sort of this sort of like thing that I didn't like.
Back hair.
like you're trying to take advantage of someone, right? And it's not that. What I had to really recognize is that, well, as performers, we are constantly selling ourselves. You call it an audition, right? But it's sales. You call it a Facebook post or an Instagram post where you're singing or doing some dance or whatever it is. But that's just another form of sales. And so what has helped me and what continues to help me is the fact that I'm reframing it as just service, right? I'm doing people a service by charging them for information that I have, right? Because, people who pay attention, right? You ever gotten something for free and just been kind of like, oh, well, maybe I'll read that later, right? Uh-huh. You pay $500 for something, you're going to read it, right? You're going to pay attention to it. So that being said, I recognize that sales is hard, that entrepreneurial mindset can be a challenge for us to as performers to wrap our heads around, because we want to be artists and free and all that, right? But at the end of the day, that is the new mindset. That is the new currency of this business. And the more of us who make the investment in service and sales and understanding how to maximize our knowledge and how to serve our community, whether again that's local all the way to international, that is going to become the new, and already is, the new currency of this business, and it's just going to help us all rise together.
Wow, that's an amazing comment there. I think we're all entrepreneurs, you know. We just don't realize it, and we haven't been taught it for so long. We just thought that we were performing, but like you said, it just was that we were selling for other people, and brands and things other than our own. So we're making other people a ton of money off of
Woo! Don't get me started.
Yeah, we don't make any money, right? Yeah, so we're starving and they're fed, and it's like, wait a minute, if we're up here performing and drawing and singing and dancing and acting, making you money, we can definitely be doing the same thing for ourselves. And I think it's about that mindset to transition and realize, like, we've been doing this all along from the very beginning.
Yeah, we've been doing it all along and being paid pennies on the dollar to do it. And so the more that we understand, the more that we can embrace that entrepreneurial mindset. And again, it's like, I think, was it Catch Me If You Can? The real life person that story is based on, the FBI caught him, and when they found out that he taught, was it at Harvard or Princeton? I can't remember. He conned his way into a Ivy League school as a teacher and taught a course not knowing anything about the actual course. And when the people from the FBI asked him, hey, how did you do that? He said, I was just one chapter ahead of the students. I just made sure that I was one chapter ahead of the students. And while now he was conning people, I take it and I use the example as, look, you don't need to be someone who is old with a big white beard or long white hair sitting on top of the mountain somewhere to be a master, right? You do not need to do that in order. You don't have to be in your 60s or 70s to be a teacher. As long as you know just a little bit more than someone you're serving, you are giving them your knowledge. You are giving them an advantage. And so it doesn't matter if, on a local level, if you've taken dance for 5 or 6 years and then you want to help out some people who are just starting, you can do that. You can be a teacher. You can add value to another person's life. So don't shortchange the experience and the wisdom that you have. You can use that and leverage that to not take advantage of, but to actually serve your community.
You're speaking to my heart. It's like, my story too. It's so interesting because that was my story actually. So I started teaching dance at 13 years old because you had to be 14 to have papers. And I said, well, I need money and I have to eat, and I do not want to be a starving artist even at 14. So my own dance classes and charged the community. And I remember knocking door to door, and people thought it was a fraud. They're like, who's this little boy asking me to come and pay and do this stuff? But you got to start somewhere, and I just always share that thought that you shared, that you're never too young. Started teaching college at 24 years old. That's
amazing, right?
It's
amazing, and that's wonderful, and that's why I'm so glad that you're doing this. I'm so glad you're doing it, and why one of the reasons why I agreed to be a part of this interview, because I want to help to promote more of what it is that you're doing, and we've been taught in this business that there are the haves and the have-nots, and we've got to scramble over each other's backs, and there's only so much work, and there's only the scarcity, right? Scarcity. You want to talk about a mindset? Scarcity is rampant in this business. It is a virus that has been taught to us like there is no cure, right? Scarcity, 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 and it will happen at every single level of your career. I have known people, as a matter of fact, I know people now who have more success in our business, more money than God, and yet are terrified that it's all going to go away. They could not work another day in their lives and they'd be all right, but they're terrified that the work is not going to come back, that the money that they have, as much of it as they have, is not going to be enough, right? The vanity metrics of likes and whatever it is are going to go. And so my point being that the more that we work together and the more that we recognize that there's never going to be a shortage of actors, there's never going to be a shortage of dancers and singers and people who love the arts. Folks, please get together and let's work together, and let's help take ourselves out of this place of scarcity, of this place of the rat race, of this place of working for pennies on the dollar, into a place where we can all rise together and literally enhance the vibration of this business. And again, I know it's idealistic, it may be a little pie in the sky, but over time, you know, when you talk about how much the Me Too movement has positively affected our business, how much the Black Lives Matter movement has positively affected our business, how much, in a way, COVID-19 and the shutdown that has forced us to take a hard look at ourselves because we don't have all these places we can go and things that we can do outside of ourselves, has taken a positive impact on this business. I mean, we have an opportunity here to completely reshape the entertainment business. It's going to be reshaped no matter what, right? We are, for the next at least few years, this business will not be the business that it was pre-March 2020. And we have an opportunity here, especially if we work together, which is the antithesis of what we've been taught to do.
Yes.
We have the opportunity to reshape this in a business, in an image that serves everyone and helps us rise together.
It is all about that, for sure. I think, you know, divided we all fall. And like you said, we've all been conditioned to divide, but we have to come together. And I always tell artists, you know, my philosophy is like, when one of us wins, we all win. Yeah. Right? Because it's elevating our field, it's helping somebody else, making a difference. People are inspired. Yeah, I love it. That's what, you know, really makes me so inspired about you too. Like, I just love how your philosophy is that. It's just on the giving and sharing and collaboration. Yeah. And so I've been a fan for 18 years and president of the fan club, and I'll challenge anybody who thinks that they can take that spot, because I've been watching from day one, and I'm telling you guys, this man is such inspiration, such a leader in our field, and he really is the future of what we're all doing. So
thank you.
Thank you enough.
I appreciate that, man, and thank you for the opportunity to come here and speak with you and to be a part of what it is that you're doing. Please, 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 please keep going. For those of you who are listening, keep making the investment in yourself, in the investment in what Roger's doing, because you too can join the forefront of the movement to create an industry that serves us all, right? And it's not about money, it's not about applause, it's not about awards. All those things are awesome. Don't get me wrong. I mean, right? Those are things that are great for our egos as well as our pocketbooks as well.
They're motivators. Yeah, they push you though. Yeah.
Right, exactly, right? But at the end of the day, creating or serving the story is the most important thing as performers, but as people, creating stories that serve us is a huge realization that I had, right? I've always been like, well, our number one job as performers is to serve the story. But it wasn't until I really recognized that our number one job as people is to create stories that serve us that led me to creating Artist Mindset Mastery, that led me to really do what I can and what I will continue to do over the months and years ahead to help work with people like you, Roger, to lead the charge for the new entertainment industry.
I love that. And Justin, tell people how they can stay in touch with you and become a part of your amazing programs.
Oh, cheers. Thank you. So all you have to do is basically go to pretty much any of the social medias, and it's always /Justin Guarini. If you don't know how to spell my name, just look up the guy with the hair from American Idol. It'll pop up on Google.
Below on your screen, we'll have you.
Yeah, cheers, yeah, for sure. And then, yeah, justinguarini.com. You can find out more about the Artist Mindset Mastery programs and the audition secrets, things that I'm doing. But I'm really excited. As of today, I'm about a few weeks away from rolling out a 7-day program that I have for Artist Mindset Mastery, which is really like a 7-day crash course on everything that I teach that really gives you the foundation and the path for a lot of the principles and the journey that that is ahead for Artist Mindset Mastery. And then I am super excited to be rolling out a 90-day program for students where they're going to get daily interaction with me. I'm going to have a bunch of industry leading folks coming in and doing master classes over the 90 days. And at the end of the 90 days, it really is all about creating that setup and the path and the framework that will help you to be ready for day one of the industry being open and the new entertainment industry and the new business that is headed our way.
Wow. These are incredible programs. Ladies and gentlemen, please take advantage of them. This stuff is not common. This stuff is extremely unique and extremely relevant, and you need it. Do not just spend days and nights watching Netflix. We're all guilty of it, but
Yes.
please invest in yourself, right? Educate yourself so that you can go out, like Justin said, one day and be where you want to be.
Yeah. Cheers. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Roger.
Thank you for being here. Again, guys, join me in thanking the wonderful Justin Guarini. Having you here. Thank you so much.